Alright, we're recording. Um, Today I want to make a quick, concise video on the workshop we had for TLC last week. Um, so what we did was we make an application um, with JavaScript and React Native, and because I know some of you wanted to come, but not every one of you did manage to come. So I'm just gonna make this video. I'll make up calls for those who want to catch up later on. So I hope this will be even better than the one we had last week, and apparently it will be shorter because no one will be interacting with me. And so if you guys have any questions, just leave it under the comment. So I will try my best to reply. So without further delay, let me just quickly jump right into it. So before you do anything, I need you to download a software on your phone, on your mobile phone. I mean, not your computer, but your mobile phone. So go to expo.io. You need to download an app called Expo Client, I believe. So the reason for us to download this is that this allows you to test your application on your actual mobile phone, like I have here. But of course, this is not an actual mobile phone; it's a simulator. But you will be using your phone, while I will be use this simulator for the sake of recording. That's the only difference, and there's no difference between this device and your actual phone. So go ahead and download this both for Android and iOS. I will leave the link in the description down below. In fact, let me just paste it in my note here. Use alright. So let me put the link here, right? Just in case you guys. So later on, you will see all these as a handout. Basically, this is our handout today. And if you're following this on YouTube, you will see those links in the description. You can follow along. After you download this, you will see something. Let me pull this off. You will see an icon like this. Click right into it. Go to projects. There will be nothing for you, but I already have a bunch of projects, which is fine. I'm going to teach you how to add a new project right now. I kind of want you to start with somewhere instead of an absolutely empty template. So go ahead to this URL right here. You will be on the exact same page with me on a web coding environment. This is our handout. You will see that under this readme.md file. Let me just paste this link in the. Actually, I don't. So I will leave this link down in the description later on. You guys could click on that and follow along. Before I go ahead, let me explain what kind of environment we are in. We are now in a code basically cloud computing environment, which allows us to write programs in the browser. And if we save that and log in and save, we will see this project later on in our so-called snacks and profiles. You will see something like this. I already have 2 projects going on, so that's why I have 2. Make sure you come here, save it as your own project, and then you'll be absolutely good. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on here. First, we have 4 files here. You don't really have to worry about them because the only file that we'll be dealing with is app.js file right here. This is where we'll be writing our code, but I will briefly go through what they are. readme.md, as I said, is just a handout file that I put on the main points I be talking about in this workshop. So this is for reading only. And package.json, again, it's not something that you should worry about, because these are some of the dependencies. That is to say, some of the resources the computer needs to work in order for it to work, basically, right? So you don't have to worry about it. I already configured that out for you. And there's also a PNG right here, which is the icon. That's why we see the icons down there. When our application launch, you will see the icon. In fact, let me just launch our application real quick. Okay, it went too quick. Loading was too quick, so we don't see the icon popping up, but there was an icon. For the sake of our tutorial, we don't really want to change the icon, the app icon in this case, so we'll just stick with this nice cube type of icon. So let's jump right into our app.js file. I want you to know what we are going to build today as our first of all. So let me press Command D and go back to my home. And let's load up our end result for today's. That's what we are going to be building. You see the icon? That's the thing I was talking about. Alright, this is the app we are going to be building. This is a BMI calculator. Extremely simple. You guys all know what BMI is. It's the weight in kilogram divided by the square of your height. That will give you a number around 15 to 20 or that sort, indicating if you're overweight or underweight. In fact, let me just pull out the BMI formula. So you see, body mass index. It's simple calculation using person's height and weight, and a BMI of 25 or more is overweight, while the health range is 18.5 to 24.9. Sorry. That's okay. We're going to be doing this. So let me try this application out. Let's say we are 2 meters long, and I am 80 kilogram. Let me calculate my BMI. Alright, I got a 20, healthy number. That's basically it. That's an extremely simple application, but it brings up a lot of important concepts in making application. So this is what we're going to be building, and I want to teach you how exactly we're going to build this. But right now, let me jump right back into where we start. If you're on this page already, click on app.js. You see there's like 40 something lines of code. That's our starting template. And what I need you to do right now is you click on this run on your device. There will be a device ID. No, you won't have device ID here actually. You need to put in one. So use your phone. Click on project tab, scroll all the way down. You should see a device ID down there, right? Copy that, manually copy that, type it in right here and press save. In my case, it's a ACFB dash 65F2 save. It says it's connected, and scroll back up, click on the one I was just doing, starting point, add /tutorial. Okay, no, I think I clicked on the wrong one. Wait a second. Oops, sorry. I need to clean up some of the unnecessary code. Where's the starting point? Sorry, I was clicking on the wrong project, which was the finished one. Now we are on the absolutely starting point. At the absolutely starting point, we have an application that does nothing but says BMI calculator. In fact, let's maybe change the text here. So this is our application. That's all the code we need to make an application like this, right? What if we change? You know what? Let me just explain what's going on here. You see a bunch of imports going on here. Those are, here. Look at the comment. If you see 2 slash at the beginning and they're grayed out, it means those are comments for us to read. It's not the actual code the computer will be compiling or handling. It's a hint of what is going on here. Import some resources that we need later on. Fine. Seems some of those things are just tools that we will need later on. And who built those tools, you may ask? Actually, the technology we're going to be using, it's called React Native. It's divided by, let me show you real quick. There we go. You see facebook.github.io React Native. So basically this is a technology Facebook built for people to make application up on this infrastructure that makes their life easier, way easier. So the good thing about React Native is once you develop in React Native, it will compile both into iOS or an Android application. So it doesn't have to be an iPhone here, it could be really any phone. That's why we picked this up, because I know some of you might use Android or some of you are using iOS. And we'll go through those at times when we need them. So just keep in mind those are tools we will use later on, resources we will use later on, so don't worry about them for now. And this export default class app extend react.component. This is really what is going on in our application. You see this bracket here? This bracket between this one and the one here, it's all our application, its functionality and also how it lays out. You see this app has nothing but BMI calculator as text. That's what we are doing here. There's a view, basically the thing that wraps up the whole screen, and there's one thing down there, it's called text. This whole thing here gives us the black text right here, basically. So nothing fancy, and everything we'll be writing will be basically within this bracket and then this closing one. That's why this is called our app component or app class. And let me see. There's one more thing we need to pay attention to this file right now. There's this thing called const.style. Const stands for constant, which is a thing that you don't have to change because it's constant. I already did that for you. It determines how the application looks like, basically. So you see in our application right now, it's all kind of has this gray background and this text, it's center inside of the application. It's like, it looks kind of nice, even though it's not complicated. That's what those code here doing. That's what they're doing. We can try to take out some of these things. By the way, if you select the lines and press Command/ in the case of Mac, or Control/ in the case of Windows, you will be able to basically comment out those code, which means computer will not recognize them when it sees this piece of JavaScript file. So now we take them out. We basically cancel all those codes, and let's see what our application become. Now it all kind of stack up in the top left corner, because that's by default. Every component will be laid out on the top left corner on the application if we didn't specify how it should be laid out. So that's why I did this for you, and that's why they are here. You don't really need to change them because they are just for for style, and we're not worrying too much about styles as a beginner. So we'll just leave them as they are. Now our application should be looking all good. What I need to teach you right now is how do I change my application's layout, user interface basically. You see there's text here. Within these two text angle bracket, if we change the text within them, between them, we'll change it into, let's say, hello world. What we get is, instead of BMI calculator, we get a hello world, right? Fair enough. We can change it into anything I want. I can change it into high beam. So we have high beam, easy peasy. So what if I want 2 lines of text? I want true text. All I need to do is copy this whole text component, copy it, Control C or Command C, go to the next line, pay attention to where my cursor is, copy, and then copy high beam. Let me say high beam 2, then high beam 3. Okay, we now have 3 of those. It's vertically aligned, right? That's how we populate our application's user interface. But of course, we don't want use text input only. We don't want the text only. We want something else. That's why I said we need those import first, because now you see button and text input, that sort of stuff. Let's use a button. How about that? To use a button, to create a button, all we need to do is go to the next line, press shift to give you a angle bracket, and you say button. Notice that when I type BU, the computer is already suggesting me, do I mean button? And if you click on that, it will automatically compute for you. And all you need to do is add back a closing angle bracket. And in this case, it will create a button for you. But in this case, we don't need 2 buttons like the text we had before, because a button has nothing to wrap into it. Instead, we'll have a property. What we call it property is, after declaring a button, we say title equals, give a double quote to indicate this is a string, say button. So what we should see right now on our application, there should be a button. There should be a button popping up, and as we see, there's a button coming, which is clickable, but it does absolutely nothing because we haven't told it what to do if someone clicked this button. So how about let's make it do something when we click it. The way to do it is, after this title property, at the end of it, we give it a space. Look, there's a space there. We say something like on press, and as you see, computer is hinting me, do I mean on press? So I say yes. What do I want to do with on press? That is, let me see. By the way, if your code has any syntactical error, that means you are not following the rules and the syntax of JavaScript. It will throw you some warnings or errors telling you where it's going wrong. In this case, it's saying line 22 space row 22 colon 47. There's something wrong, and the error here, it says there's okay, sorry about that. Sorry about that, but that's okay. And let me see how do I do this. I want to do alert. So when someone press this, please give me an alert. You guys will see what alert means in 1 second. So, by the way, this thing is automatically saving. You can see it saves every few seconds. Whenever there's a change, it will automatically save after a few seconds. Right? So we say on press equals to alert. Remember to put in those curly braces. If you don't know where they are right above your enter or return key on your keyboard. But you need to press a shift before you type in those two curly brackets. So whenever things are put into curly brackets like that, it means it's a certain type of instruction to the computer. Ask the computer to do something, right? It's an action, a series of actions. So in this case, what we have is when someone press this, do something. What is the things to do? Make an alert and say hi. So that's what happened here. Somehow it's bugging here, but it's okay. I'm gonna repeat this. Text string. Okay. Wait a second. Why is it complaining about this? It says I think it's not a big deal. We'll just leave it. Let me reload my application. Refresh. Opening the project. Give it a second. Oh, I know what's going on here actually. You know what? If we put it right inside of our render method, which is to say, if we put it right in our where the UI component is supposed to be, the code here will get executed automatically. That's why we need something else. We need this instruction to be saved somewhere else, not right into the UI component. So it has an effect of delaying the execution of this alert on high. So let me copy this. Actually cut it. Go right above. Before you even do anything, create something called handle click. How about it? Alright. By the way, you can't put in space here when you name something. It's gonna give you an error saying unexpected token. So whenever you name something when you program, make sure the names are connected. They are a continuous string. So in this case, we create a function with syntax like this. The name of the function or method, that means a series of instructions to be executed later on, equals to an empty braces and then a sort of arrow sign with an equal sign and then a greater than sign, and all of it points to open curly bracket and then closing brackets. So whatever we do in here, it's gonna be the instruction that will actually be executed when the handle click function is called. To see that in action, let me put our alert high back in there. And down here, instead of saying alert high directly, we say this dot handle click. But you might ask, what does this mean? This means this application. That is to say, the app here. And this handle click simply refers to, in our app, there's a thing called handle click. So when I say this handle click, I really is just referring to a function that is within this app component. That's okay. That is just sometimes it's delaying. Sometimes it doesn't recognize that our code had already been corrected, so it still gives us error. But if you go back to your computer, go back to your phone or simulator, you click on this button and you realize now it works. Now it works as we expected. It only gives us hello or hi when we click on this button. That's pretty cool. So let me see how far we have been. Wait. Let me see. Okay, I actually don't know how to see how long the recording has been, but that's okay. I guess it's like not even an hour. So let me get rid of this. Get rid of those tags and think about how to actually build a BMI calculator. It's pretty obvious that we need two input fields and then one button to basically take two input, the user's height and user's weight, and then when it clicks this button, it calculates and it prints out. Why don't we just create a text field? Wait, that needs to be capitalized. Let's just put it like this. Let's say in this text box we want it to be your BMI, right? So whenever the program finish calculating the thing, the BMI should be printed under the button. So like that. Of course, it's not aligning properly because we didn't assign the styles property to it. So to do that, styles equals open curly bracket styles dot paragraph. So this few words simply refers to the styles paragraph down here. Says, okay, listen, the text of your BMI should have the style as the styles docked. Docked means of which paragraph has. Right, so basically our BMI text here will have a margin of 24 and font size of 18. It's going to be bold, it's going to be in center of the screen. So that's what it's doing. And there you go, we have our text in the center. But of course there's no way that we know what's the user's BMI in the beginning, and so initially it should be some sort of like unknown, right? Because initially, when someone opened up the application, a computer wouldn't automatically know your height and weight, so until you tell it. So initially, let's say your BMI is unknown, and we'll change this text later on accordingly, dynamically. But how do we do it? We need something called a state, really. A state, it's simply some variables that keeps track of what's the status or the state of an application. You might imagine an application, of course, has many states, when it was initialized, it shouldn't know what is the user's weight and height. But later on, when someone tell the application, he now has a different state because he now knows some information, and he can do something else accordingly. In order to have a state, we need something called a constructor function. Put in constructor, and then it basically says this is what the application is gonna do right after the application is initialized, or that is to say opened up. Right? You need to pass in props in the braces here. Don't ask me why, because it's really difficult to explain at this point. Just trust me on this and write down a structure like this: constructor function, open braces, props, open curly bracket, super props. That will allow us to do the rest of the coding. And as far as why do we need to do that, that is a whole other topic. So for the sake of this tutorial, it's not really it's really beyond our scope. So what do we want to do right after the application is sort of setup? We want to do this dot state equals to something. Wait, let me just put it back. I was doing it too quick. So this dot state means there are certain informations that we want to keep track of throughout the operation of our application. For example, to do our BMI calculator, notice that when you are pointing your cursor in between two curly brackets and you press enter, it automatically gives you a new line, and it put these things nicely, and gives you a nice indentation to tell which brackets correspond to which. So we need something, at least weight for sure. We need a thing called weight, which initially, let's say by default someone is 50 kilogram. Okay, and we also need someone's height. So let's say it's I can make it easy, 2 meters long, 2 meters tall, I should say. And what else do we need? We need a text to actually display this BMI function. I mean to display the BMI of someone. So BMI, no, someone's BMI. You need a colon to separate the so-called key and value pair here. So what is the, no, let's make it 80 kilogram. So if we use this divided by 2 to the power that is 80 divided by 2 divided by 4, actually 2 to the power 4. That's going to be 20, right? So initially the BMI should be 20. So let's put 20 here. What will happen is the state initially will be like that, and if we go back to our application, it actually doesn't change anything. Our application is looking exactly the same as before. That is because those states, they are not actually visible. They are some sort of data information stored in the application's memory instead of being displayed. So to display that, we need to get them from the memory and display them. Let's say I want to display the default height. let's say let me create two more texts up here to let you see what is really going on underneath the hood. Let's do more two text field and put in brackets. Right, there's a curly bracket there saying we can use JavaScript right now. If we say this dot state dot height, and down there we'll do the same thing, but this time for weight. This dot state dot weight, and we will now see this 2 and 20. Where they are coming from? They are coming from the state, because initially we say those are 80 and that's 2. That's why it's displaying 2 and 80 down here. What if we change into 79? What's gonna happen? It's gonna be 79, right? So now you know when we change the state, the screen will just refresh every time. So it's intuitive to us to think right now, if we want to make our BMI change when somebody put in numbers, all we need to do is to change state, basically, right? We can also display this BMI too. So let's change this BMI into the state's value as well. It's going to be this dot state dot BMI, and we should see 20 right now, although this is not calculating right because we changed it into 79. So let's put it back into 80. So initially, now we see height 2 meters, weight 80 kilogram, BMI is 20. So this doesn't look the best because it doesn't give us a label. Let's put in a label here. Let's say your BMI is, no, we have a label. Your BMI is 20, and let's put in the height is, and then say the weight is. Now we have some label telling us what is going on here. Let me see if I can pause this real quick. I think there's a way that I can pause this.